Hey guys, this is Dan with Avant Novus. It's been a while. Sorry for not a stream last week. Our game's beta test has gone extremely crazy. We're streaming now on a bunch of different channels. Found a lot of great success with that. Currently, you can find us. Let me just bring that up. We're currently on Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, Facebook, Smashcast, DLive, and a couple others actually. So we're trying to watch the chat. We're trying to make sure that everybody is we're trying to catch everybody. There has been, I believe Facebook chat is not working right now, so I've got a lot of stuff open just to make sure that I can see everybody. If I miss you, please forgive me. I'm sorry. But we're just gonna throw some maps out just really quick today. A couple things with the business and with the channel itself. We are going to be releasing some more maps in an hour, probably on Drive Through RPG, maybe these two today. We're also thinking of releasing some little, well, I'll keep that under wraps, but got some different things coming up. Maybe in Monday, Tuesday of this week, we'll show you. For our pre-beta testers, we'd like to thank you, all 10 of you or so. We'd like to thank you so much for all of your hard work and what you've done for us. We're wrapping that up. We're moving into another pre-beta. We want to fix another thing. If you're interested in joining us either online for a beta test for the Avant Novus role-playing game, drop me a line at avantnovus@gmail.com. and we will look at putting you in. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with ArtRage first, and then we will start, after that tutorial, we'll go back to Wonderdraft and see what's new there, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. We're just in the ArtRage default screen. Let us minimize a couple things here. Make sure we get all the chats up. We have Drive, we have Facebook. I can see everybody. I am happy. Yes, everything is happy. So let's go ahead and get started. This is our basic ArtRage screen. This is pretty much, well, actually, this is what it looks like when you open it. ArtRage is a program for realistic painting products. Now the background is going to be a different color. You can basically set the background color to any background color. You just, on your little color wheel here, you just select it. You know, you can go black, right click, set background color. Usually it starts kind of this kind of nice little green. Something like that. In this case, I kind of go with a brown, so I'm not distracted by pretty colors. Oops. Okay. Except I'm feeling kind of like a purple today. Well, let's see. Let me check that. Thank you very much. How's the volume? People, we doing okay there? Everybody hear me okay? Check. Yes, we are good with the volume issues. No surprises. All right. Surprises are bad at this point. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on our painting. Usually with maps, I will always we'll start with our new painting. And we're going to start with our print size. We're going to make this printer happy. Let's go 11 inches height by 8.5 standard print size. Except our pixels per inch is going to be a 450. Meaning, if you're doing this on a magazine resolution, that's 300 pixels per square inch. If you're doing this on a newspaper or a news feed, it's going to be about 100 pixels per square inch. So in this case, we're going 450 at 11 inches by 8.5 inches, just to be kind of a standard size. Also, this map, we want to be very user-friendly. So if anybody is using this on a PC, or, well, if someone wants to print it at home, it's kind of a standard universal size. And now looking at that background, I really hate that color. So let's go to kind of a nice, there we go. Okay, that's better. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and let's just go for it. We have a nice blank canvas here. We're going to go into our layers. We're going to add another layer. We're also going to go in and we are going to go to our canvas settings. our canvas setting is going to allow us to actually modify the canvas. Usually in any other ArtRage, it's to simulate an actual canvas. Like if you have a very, if you prefer like a sandy paper or a vellum or a decorative, you can set those, and the paint will realistically, the media you use with ArtRage will realistically interact with the canvas and what's under that. We don't want that. So we're going to drop the opacity to 0, create a blank alpha channel underneath that. We don't want that. The thing we do want though is the canvas color. We want to make a dark green. Okay. The reason for that is if we lock transparencies, we'll come back to this in a while. So we're going to call this, remember this background. Just remember this. We'll come back to this in a while and you'll see what we're going to do here. We're going to kind of, I think we're just going to do a big continent today. Just really quick, bust this out. And the method I'm going to use is a method I use with pretty much anything I do. Is we're going to just kind of start with some really big, blocky, not too exciting images, and then just kind of go from there. And let's kind of, we're going to put our layers up here. Now, the color sample, let me clear this out. I should have done this first. We're going to first of all choose a palette. To add palette samples, just find your color wheel. Again, everything I'm using is on the defaults for ArtRage when you open it up. Okay, so if you don't like what's there, just clear your samples. If you hit this little shape thing that looks like the state of Utah, okay, and you hit add samples, select from collection, it gives you this awesome selection of pretty much anything you want. And you can add, you can, ooh, like that old boat. You can select different things, grayscales, landscapes, you can have favorites. Yeah, you guys can kind of see my preferences here. Den colors, that's my own private one. Let's actually use one of the pre-generated ones. So let's go to landscapes. I like Desert Oasis. We're actually going to add samples, select from collection, and we're going to go with desert. Let's find another good one here. Let's go with forest sunset. Just checking. Let's actually go with beach too. That gives us a good smattering of colors. So we're just going to put that right there. We're going to start out with, to start with this, we're just going to go solid black. Now with your colors, of course, you have your adjustable color wheel. Something else is you have a metallic. Now the metallic in this, it behaves a little bit differently. The metallic actually has a lot to do with the real-time lighting effect that ArtRage gives paints. A good example of this is if we're using a tube of, this tool right here is an oil paint. Of course, there we go. Just got 1 second here. Oh, that's why. Okay, very important thing. Make sure you're must have to activate the real-time lighting effects of ArtRage. Make sure your canvas lighting is on. That's really important. I must have clicked that off. What that means is that if I click this off, it's just, you're just painting with pixels. If I click it on, it's actually keeping track of the amount of light that is interacting with the paint and that is also affected by the metallic, how much metallic paint or metallic matter there is in the paint. So the more metallic there is, the more it interacts with the light. So basically, with that, you can go in and you can, the whole way we make maps is by manipulating this light effect and other things like that. Had a small heart attack there, but again, that's why we do these live, so we can show people how we mess up. Anyways, as I was saying, what this should have been was, hey look, tube of paint. You can see I'm dropping this tube. It's oil paint. It behaves like oil paint. I can use a watercolor and it behaves just like watercolor. The more metallic in there, the more it interacts with the light. As such, and it behaves and it feels just like a watercolor would. Also, you have some presets. Which is really kind of creepy if you've ever, and again, if you're working with, and they interact just the same, like with, you get this kind of weird little bleed right up there with an oil, and of course with a marker it'll just scrape the crap out of a oil. Again, the purpose of ArtRage is just to simulate the real physics of a media and the real physics of a tool. So we're going to use those to create a map today. So first of all, we're going to start out, we're going to make sure the metallic's off on this brush. We're going to go full black, and we are going to select a pen, our pen tool right down here, again, ink pen, and we're going to just choose, let's go with the no anti-aliasing. Okay, and that, again, where we choose that is if this is all closed, there's this presets right here, presets, no anti-aliasing. We're going to go to the settings of it, double check that's off. We're also going to turn down the smoothing here, and I'm just going to leave these settings up right here. And we are going to start making our maps by putting some blobs up. Good to see you too. Welcome to the stream. Again, if I miss anyone's comments, hey, well, Bill, how are you, sir? If I miss any of your comments, I apologize. I've got like 5 windows open because apparently, oh, hey, Facebook is working. Well, that is awesome. I can close a window or two. That is splendid. All right, here we go. So we just start with kind of a, I don't know, a shape, just whatever. Most of the time I like to try and make it something that doesn't, our little, you know, human minds or our monkey brains try to find faces or shapes in things that we do. Let's throw that in. Mr. William Stewart, how are you today, sir? And so what I'm trying to do is just to create these kind of blobby shapes that don't have faces in it. That's really all I'm doing. There. And I'm just kind of, you know, I have the kind of a, let's make a map here and let's put this thing here. And then I'm just kind of plunking down other interesting shapes, maybe adding to it, but just going in little pieces. I just made a mistake there. I don't want that. I don't want that there. Neep. Maybe we have a kind of an inner C over here thing going on. And just, you know, something natural, something just flowy. Maybe up here? Yeah. Kind of resembles Europe. Of course, now I want this to be pushed in to get away from the Europe look. Maybe come down here. That's connected. And again, just take your time, have fun with it, do whatever. The blob method is kind of fun. And even right now I'm getting this kind of, you've got this cool little land bridge that's connecting 3 separate continents going on. You can see it. So this area is going to be water, this area down here is going to be water. And we got this area, so it's kind of this large whatnot. And we're going to just try to fill in some of these spots. Yeah, that's good. I like that. We're going to go with this. Yeah, don't take too much time on it. And if you want, yeah, and if you get to change it now. Hey, well, on the stream, I'm Dan. We're making maps. What I'm going to do now is, ooh, that would have been interesting in a bad way. We're just going to use the gap tool to just make everything black and white. This is why we use the anti-aliasing, because if we use the anti-aliasing brush, we'd get this like little lines that the pixels wouldn't be able to show up. Okay, so we have this. Question is if we like this or not. I'm just going to go in and fill some stuff out. I think we can chop back on some stuff, so let's go ahead and just grab the eraser here. Make this a lot smaller. Now we're going to go fill in our details. Let's increase down here. Fill down here. Kind of like this peninsula thing going. So keep that. I think I want more of a larger base right down here. So let's go hit that really quick. Yeah, that feels better. Maybe we'll come over with kind of more of a kind of a Caspian, Black Sea, Caspian Sea thing right here. That'd be cool. Maybe even an island chain. Again, you're kind of reversing the chicken and the egg thing here. I mean, why do people make maps to know where they're going, or what are you doing? You're making a place where people already know where it is. They've chosen to make a map of it. You get what I'm saying? So why did they make a map? Why is this place interesting? You know, there's a lot of other people that are like, oh, that's not realistic. Why that would be there? Natural world's not like that. Well, this world is kind of like that because they did make a map of that, and you're kind of putting the cart before the ox, as they say. There we go. But then again, that goes back to my whole rant and raving about critique versus criticism. You notice I'm now just developing shorelines, and the farther I go into this, the smaller I get, the more details I am able to put into it. At any time I can stop. Also, the more jagged the coast, the more water and the more erosion that there's going to be. So up here, I'm actually thinking there's been, there's been a great deal of erosion. So we're going to make this really jagged. Here we go. Now, up in this area, I was kind of having a problem because it was kind of snaking into a kind of a bottleneck up here. And I didn't like the look of that. Okay, so it was going to go into something that looked like that. And actually, now that I did it, I kind of like the look of that. So, happy accident, right, folks? Maybe we'll just kind of fill that out. Again, that's why we do this kind of method of big blocky structure. We get really cool little things like that happening. And it's kind of funny, if you're indecisive on stuff, push it to the limit. And then just, you know, go to an extreme on what you're looking at, and most of the time you'll actually like it better than what you're trying to avoid. Down here, this needs some work down here. Which reminds me, we have someone from the community that I have totally neglected to get to work with. We've been hitting our beta program so long for so much, and our alpha testing and our development for so long that I just haven't had time. And I feel horrible about that. So I'll get to you, man. I will get to you, Dominic. And I don't like this. It's like Christmas tree-ish. So what do? We go extreme. And it's still Christmas tree-ish. Okay, we go even more extreme. I should just cut that off. Maybe there. And no. Okay, hold on. Let's go the opposite way with it. There we go. Just play with your space when you're doing stuff. Now, do this cool little rounded shape and contrast. Down here, we'll offset it. Again, form, shape, details. So we've got our shape. Now we're working on the form. Form is the shape in relation to it. Okay, I've got a face right here that's bugging me. With maps, that's never and that can be reality breaking for a lot of people. It is for me, anyways. And that's not working. That. down here. Put that in. And again, we're just going to take our time. No rush, no worries. Getting into kind of a weird Christmas tree thing. Maybe it's too many spreadsheets of Bob Ross in the background. I don't know. There we go. Should think problems up here. Yeah, no, that's 2. Yeah. Let's go way back. This is where it started to get away from us. Well, let's keep that eye. What do you think, guys? Any advice on what I need to do here? Alt F4 is not the answer. If I didn't know you, I would be hurt by that. True, I did do that to you on Warcraft a couple times, so yeah, I'm not... There we go. Okay, let's try something different. Yeah, I liked it better the way it was. Except I'm wondering if we came in all the way down here instead. Made down here the focus instead. I feel like that'd be a lot more logical of why this was like a big trade hub. Get rid of that. That thing's bugging me. If this was a giant trade hub, you know, and the reason why this map would be here. This was why everybody in their Khaleesi is coming to trade. Can we move goods around? Then let's put that in the middle of the map. Yes, that is now a technical term. Everyone in their Khaleesi. Come through right here. You know what? Good enough. Go with that. All right. Not too bad there. So let's go ahead and just get this maybe right here. We have this big delta. Actually, a delta would push material. Oh, that'd be interesting. That would be really interesting. What if we had 4 deltas? This whole area here was just one giant quagmire and delta. That's cool. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. All right, next up on this, let us go ahead and we're going to lock this transparency on here. The plan here, and I'm just going to, we're going to have like this giant, these 3 giant rivers that are really old, and they've been coming down for centuries, coming down like just pushing water and crap and stuff like that. And they basically created this giant quagmire here. So you got these 3 deltas. And it's just been pushing all this. I don't know how feasible that is or realistic. Hi, Ben. Nice to have you. Just making a map, just kind of shooting the bull and just trying to figure out what we'd like to do. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know if that would be, because we want to keep things kind of feasible and semi-realistic. It's like what Mark Twain said: get your facts as right as you can, then distort the crap out of them. So I think that's not going to work. So let's come up with another plan. So let's go ahead and our rivers, we've got a large area of river here. That means our mountainous areas are going to be coming there. Our mountain area is going to be coming there. Mountain area is coming here. So we have plates driving up. It's got this 3 mountain thing, and maybe there's a rift or something right there. Right there. Anyone who's just joined us, welcome. We're all over the place. So we're on Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, DLive, anything else. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please for mercy, or you want to see anything, or if you have any questions of what we're doing, just let me know. We're just kind of goofing off making fantasy maps today. Yeah, let's go with this, guys. Okay, so with ArtRage, and this is just going to be a quick tutorial, we're now going to use we're going to start building up mass with the we're going to start building up mass with our real-time lighting. That's the nice thing that ArtRage does for us, is it not only keeps track of what color we're placing, it keeps track of what we're placing. It's like an oil paint or water paint or a dry brush paint. In this case, it is a mass ton of oil paint. But it also keeps track of how much we're putting on here. In this case, we are just putting a ton of oil paint on there. What we're now going to do is we're going to tell it, we're going to stack it as high as possible. To do that, we go to the tools, we go to layer options, we go to bump blend modes, and we hit add. After we've done that, we are just going to follow, starting in the middle where we want mountains. We're just going to, actually let's change colors here so I don't get too confused, because this is me we're talking about. And we're going to start placing our mountains. Let's just kind of do this little big old thumps of paint right in the middle here. So this is probably an area, we're kind of making up the land, the campaign setting as we go. So you have the 3 distinct areas, and we're going to have, I've actually accidentally created 2 little valleys. One right, let's see, where's my, one right in this area and one right in that area. So we're gonna kind of try to stay out of that. Man, the tappy political scheming and the skittering that have taken place there. Distributional, how are you? I will. The main purpose today was just to get on and stream. I was just like, I've got to get on. I've got to do some map stuff. I don't care. The new technique is fun, and I'm getting some. I'm getting some wonderful. It's really time consuming, but I'm getting some amazing. Some amazing effects out of it. I will actually today I will post, and distributional, was it you that sent me the map that I haven't got back to you yet, that you wanted me to look at? Was that you? Because if that was, I'm so sorry. I've just been like super busy, and I'm very bad with online handles and real life names. But yeah, I will post. I will show the details, and I'll probably create a tutorial on the new system, and in depth of how that goes. All right, so we're starting to add mass to our system here. We're now going to go to the glitter brush. It's what it's a lame joke. I've used it before. I'm always going to use it. We used to joke in the art world that it's the herpes of arts and crafts. Is glitter, but it adds a lot of mass really quickly. And we're just going to start applying that like crazy to the map in circles, and that's just going to build up mass. And again, that's all we're doing right now. We're just building up as much mass as possible. Okay. Okay, good. We did that one. There's someone else. I think that was... there's a list that I need to go through, and I've just been trying to catch up. I'm glad we got you taken care of. Purity advice. I hope that was okay. Okay. So we're just adding mass. The glitter adds just a ton of mass very quickly. This looks like crap right now. Fear not. Azoro's watchful. After we do this, we're now going to go in. We're going to go to a knife brush. We're going to blur this out. We're going to make this 500. Our pressure. We got to be very gentle with this. We're going to now take those rough edges and we're going to blur them. Just a quick back and forth. And then we're going to texture them. You can already see we're getting the, if you zoom in quite close, kind of already see a really rough texture going on. That's texture, mass, and height. Awesome. Really loved what you had there, man. I loved how ambitious you were. It was, I know people like throw that word ambitious around, and sometimes it's like, oh, you're very ambitious, but it's like you had a vision. It's the very definition of ambitious, but you were very, I don't have words for it. You nailed it. You did good. It was good. Okay, now we're going to retexture this. To do that, we go to our favorite little brush called Harsh Chaos. Bring this to about 350. And let's go 500. Drop the pressure down to about somewhere in the 30s, 40s. We're just going in, and again, we're just smoothing this out. And we're looking just to retexture this. We'll be adding our mountains and then our rivers and all that other stuff. This is going to kind of give us a wet clay feel. And then we're going to use this as, we're going to be pretty much using this as an erosion technique. Create rivers and valleys and everything else in this. But yeah, if you're okay with that, yep, anything I can do to help. Honestly, you don't need much of my help. It was good. I actually learned a lot from what you did there. It got me out of it got me out. There was things that people offered in the stream that context really quick for those watching. Sometimes when you're working on a map, you're staring at a shape for so long, and it's a shape that really doesn't have a. It's a shape. It doesn't look like a piece of fruit. It doesn't look like anything but a shape in your head, and trying to pin that down as something that looks good. You've seen it on what I've done here. It's really difficult on figuring out what you want to do with it. So it's we had a stream, its previous stream, I think it was last one or two. It was a really awesome discussion, about an hour of the last, of ways you can little tricks you can do to change your perspective and change the way you see things, to kind of grasp what that shape you want, what you want that shape to be, and what you want it to look like, and how you can discover when you look at something and say, there's something about this I don't want, or something about this I don't like. How do I fix this? And then different ways to change that. Okay, we're gonna bust this out because I do want to get to Wonderdraft really quick. So we're going to go with our, so we're going to go in here, and you can already see we're a little bit more into detail. We still got some of that icky glitter. Now, if you remember the first of it, when I talked about the canvas color, you can kind of see this green sneaking in. That's because with the transparency on, if I push paint away from the edge, it actually leaves the canvas color, this color right here, as the base color. I want something darker though, and probably a little more yellow. So I'm going to change that right now, so it doesn't look like, yeah, there we go. We want Nurgle, not Lucky Charms, apparently. There we go. There we go. A little more here, a little more there, a little more there, a little more there, and there. Okay. Just making sure we get all the glitter, because we don't want that texture. Again, this is our base texture that we've just done. It's kind of giving our topography kind of little RNG there. All right. Let's go ahead and get up into the mountains. Mountains, we're going to go back to our glitter. Again, we're doing this all in real time, all in the same layer. It's kind of a crapshoot, but it works. To do mountains, we are going to focus on where we wanted the mountains. We talked about kind of it converging in the middle here. So we're going to start, let's get a different color. Let's go maybe more of a dark gray. There we go, that's good. And I'm just going to do little squigglies. I'm going to do this a little faster. Maybe this is a close-up. And we really want the detail. Maybe there's a... You can get a CAD drawing or something of a city in here. Do a flyover once we get this through ZBrush. So I still need to show you guys that we've actually been taking the height map, black and white height maps from ArtRage, and we've been transposing those height maps into 3D rendering programs and been able to modeling that in to, nope, that should have been there. So this guy here into ZBrush, and then using that as an actual 3D model you can 3D print. So you actually have your entire world you can print 3D and stuff like that. We just got to figure out how to make a business out of that. Let me rephrase that, a viable business. Because it's one thing to have a kind of a sheet of paper that says, hey, this is where I'm at. It's something else entirely to be able to have a actual living world, actual globe, and point to your ventures and say, hey, this is where you're at. See that little peak? Yeah, that's where you're at. Plan your route accordingly. So I think that's the goal. Well, I don't think that's what we're pushing for. The problem is distribution, overhead, and all that stuff. We're looking at shapeways. That costs an arm and a leg, so we're figuring something out. So right now I'm just doing the ridge back of the mountains. We're just branching off. The scale on this is probably going to be about 300 miles by 300 miles. Well, 8, 4, 2, 11, 300 miles by 150 miles or so. So kind of the size, if you play Baldur's Gate, the first one anyways, or maybe a second one, this is about the scale of it. Kind of like it though. So very important area, trade, blah blah blah, craziness, shenanigans. All right, same process. We go to our blur tool. We drop the pressure. Been having a lot of luck at 14%. Let's go to 50 on this. Maybe 200. We are just going to, let's zoom in so you can really see what's going on. Okay, that needs some more glitter, so we really need to push this glitter thing hard. So the pressure. Yeah, we don't have enough glitter on there. No! Something I thought I'd never say. Oh, I said it. Now, because of the amount of mass we're putting on here, when we blur this out, it is going to shape the mountains in kind of a conical form. Because the mass will be pushed down, and the center of it will be pushed up, just like, well, just like a mountain. That will then take we'll take a brush called Harsh Chaos that has a random jitter to it, and we will go in and we will start carving out the sides of the mountain kind of randomly. And this will push out the sides but keep the peak intact, which creates a more or less the same look and effect as a real mountain. So in kind of a weird way, we're actually sculpting in oil paint and glitter topography. Now, it's not realistic. Well, it's not going to be 100% realistic, but it is going to, as a form of representation of cartography, there. Let's have a look at that. And a language of sight. So you guys can see we've got our lines there. I'm going to road the crap out of these here in a second. It tells us that there are mountains there. It tells us there's a slope. It tells us how big those mountains are and where they're at. Now, if I'm in a world where there's airships and zeppelins and stuff like that, and you can actually see this kind of map making start to develop in the early 1900s, when you had the aeroplanes start to develop. But with the development of zeppelins and dirigibles, you'd actually have very, very similar types of maps such as these develop. I always thought that you'd get the same kind of thing. We're going about 250 with this. You get the same kind of thing with people with similar technologies. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm using the mouse. I'm going right up. We can go a little bit bigger on here. Let's go probably 350. I'm going right up next to the mountain. I'm using my mouse to get the standard, well, just a consistent pressure. I'm clicking by these mountains, and I'm getting this effect. Now we'll go in and we'll rebalance this, but for right now, I'm just going in and cutting into these. But yeah, you look at the British exploratory services of the early 1900s. Well, excuse me, the late 18th century, early 19th century, of Scotland, of parts of Africa, and you'll get these kind of clay maps that they did that look very similar to this. So I was always thinking, you know what, if I had an airship and I was in a fantasy race, or if I was a wizard, or whatever, this is the kind of map I'd be producing. If I sent up Yield Apprentice, or a magic scrying device, or a, you know, something up in the air. And again, these are really big. We'll go back and texture these a little bit better. We're going to start big and then go smaller. This is the kind of images that I'd kind of be able to be producing. Yeah, Wonderdraft. We comment. Hope I'm gonna try to actually add these into the videos. I don't know how yet, but I've been gleefully trying through our Wonderdraft recently as well. We'll bump a Wonderdraft map out. It is stupid sick. It is stupid easy. And it is just, the product you get from Wonderdraft is absolutely amazing. The downside is it's too easy. It does tend to look the same, but you can get such a great wonderful pieces of art from it so easily. and so hassle-free. I just wish that they had more. I wish they had more assets. I wish they had more official assets that look better. That is my only complaint. But I absolutely love it. I absolutely love that product. With ArtRage, it's going to take some. If you're using this for what we're doing here, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a learning curve. It's going to take a granted, you're going to develop your own look, and the sky's the limit. With Wonderdraft, though, I mean, you're going to get started and go, but you're also going to be you're going to be in a way limited by its assets and by the tools it gives you. Same, true, it could be said by anything that you're doing. Same way. All right, so we've got these high mountains. Now going to bust this down to 200, and we're going to go back and we're going to start running our brush, making more pulling. You're going to hear a lot of this clicking, but yeah, Wonderdraft, I love that product. I really like Wonderdraft. Incarnate or ArtRage? It's a good question. I love their assets a lot better than Wonderdraft. However, they just updated their terms of service, and I'm a little hesitant to use their products now. I do have the full corporate pro license, but there's kind of some shady crap in that I'm not comfortable with. The unlimited use of the product that they license. And, I get that, but it's like, it's the same as if ArtRage were to grab something that I made and say, hey, we need this for marketing purposes, and there's nothing you can say about it. And I don't like that. Because there needs to be a two-way, kind of a consent there. Okay, we've got a lot of texture right here, and I don't think I like it, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. We're going to go to our instant blur. We're going to up the pressure again. We're going to turn this to about 200. And then we are just going to blur these out. And now we have this kind of cool little, these cool little mountains started to pop back up. Then we're going to go in back with our harsh chaos. And we're going to retexture that. We're going to use a lot more finer harsh chaos. But we kind of got these really cool mountain formations. And again, with ArtRage, the best thing you can do is go back and forth. If it looks too big, just come back with something else. But I'm almost... For the future of the channel, for the future of what I'm doing, I might focus on, I don't know. I've got a very, for me, ArtRage is, it's my own personal voice, and I absolutely, I love the product. It is a little toothy learning curve. So I should pull down pressure back just a touch. There we go. Meaning that it takes some time to master. For my business, it is my backbone for the cartography, because and actually my design work. If you can, here, if you notice my background, this is all done in ArtRage. And all my character sheets are done in ArtRage as well. There we go. Also, we're going to be recoloring this here, and that's going to help with the texture thing. It's really big. The nice thing about ArtRage, though, if you want to see every single hill, valley, tree, mountain, flat, hobbit hole, dwarf hold, ArtRage handles that like a champ. Wonderdraft, you can do that, but it gets a little hard to put together. So let's go with... Again, I'm just going to keep this map I like, and I'm going to keep working on it. But I think I'm going to move to... We're going to move to a Wonderdraft since I talked about so much here. And I'll include in the timestamp on the video if someone's come just for Wonderdraft. Because ArtRage is about big, then little, then smaller, then smaller, then smaller, then smaller. So let's jump to Wonderdraft really quick. I'm going to save this. It's way too many S's in that. We'll jump into Wonderdraft and do something similar. I like this idea of these 3 continents coming in. Just close that out. Oh, gotta get the calculator on this one. That's right. Okay, so we're in Wonderdraft. Now you guys are going to see why this is, if you're new to cartography or want to get started on it, I cannot recommend Wonderdraft more than this. Let's go ahead and get started. So you've just seen the image size. This is the professional version. Interface is pretty easy. We have our different tool sets. They're divided into the water tool set, which gives you a kind of a water features, compass rose, selection tools, rivers, lakes, erasers. You have your land tools. You have this. This is a cool little. You have that, you have your map. I mean, it's that simple. You can invert it. Which is stupid easy. And actually quite embarrassing. So, in this case, we're not going to use that. We're actually going to use, let's go to, it's, no, just do HD. You know, let's just use this. I've got that 4 island thing stuck in that 4 things coming together. So to do that, we're going to go back to our land. We have these options. We can either raise it, lower it, or just paint it. Okay, raising, we'll do that. Lowering it, we'll dump it back into the body of water. Painting it, we'll just paint it. So, like before, we are going to start, itchy beard, just painting it. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Get that there. Going up here. Again, same method. Big blocks. Don't really care what it looks like. I'm defining just the shape, kind of channeling it from what we did previously. Maybe instead we'll come up from here for the other. Well, that's kind of what we did previously too. Maybe we got this island thing here. And again, big shapes. We get something interesting. That's great. Yeah, let's go ahead and we're going to use the raise feature. And we're just going to be raising, just for now, just going around the edge of this and raise. It creates this kind of cool roughness. I like to add stuff first, then subtract. So we're here. Come up here. Man, this is looking like that Mobius bird for some reason. Gotta nix that in the bud. So to do that, we're going to go with our lower brush. Actually, I'm really not liking any of this. So let's start a different approach. I'm going to start in the middle here. This is where everybody trades. We're going to have a bay right here. We're going to have a bay right here. We're going to have a bay right over here. So this is where there's going to be a very long river. Realized what I almost drew there and I freaked out. Zoom out really quick. Right there. Oh no. I'm so sorry. I've never even considered how hard it would be to change up on Wonderdraft. That is a real good... Huh. I've never thought about that, actually. You know, when I was using Campaign Cartographer, it'd get... I was used to editing, like, Vectorworks files, or, you know, ProCAD files. So that was one of the high points that you'd change stuff out, but I don't know about Wonderdraft. Because you can rotate stuff, can't you? Or would it just be easier to oh geez, yeah, starting over would probably have to be the easiest way. Eesh. You know what? Really quick, because I can, and it's my stream, and it's my rules. So I just found something new, and I'm looking for sponsors. This is what we call a beard balm. So if you are like me and have a lot of dwarf in you, I kind of have allergies and a kind of a itchy beard. You just put a little here, rub it together. Pray don't hit the mic. Learned this from Oxhorn on his channel. It's like oil they used to use, but a lot better for you and doesn't, it's not oil. You can shape your beard and condition it. So if there's any beard cream or balm, or sponsor me. Okay, back to map making. People are going like, what the hell? All right, anyways, back to it. So 1, 2, 3. So all this is land. This is land 2. That's land here too. I'm just gonna block this out now. Yeah, my wife got that for me. I was complaining. I was about to cut the beard off again. But she said, you know what? You like the beard. You don't like putting oil in it, because that's kind of foofy. Why don't we get you some beard balm, Dan? And I was like, beard balm? What is this you talk of? And she's all, yeah, my grandfather used it, and etc., etc., so forth. And I didn't know it was a thing, and I had a beard, and I felt stupid, so jumped on to the artofmanliness.com, looked it up, and they approved, and I was like, oh, alrighty then. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to cut some of this world out. And we're going to recognize that oh. So we have someone in the chat that was working on a map in Wonderdraft, and I hadn't even realized this would have been an issue. But there was some edits that had to be done with the map that they were working on, and when you export it, the symbols come out export as a PNG file, which is great because higher resolution PNG and you have a more stable file format. Problem is the orientation of the symbols that you use with Wonderdraft is you can't rotate them, so you actually have to individually go into each and every one of those and recreate the position through photo, like Photoshop or GIMP or whatever you want to use, and that just would be freaking brutal. So he had to actually start over. I might check that out, because that is, with how fast you can make a map in Wonderdraft, it's like, yeah, starting over would probably be the only way to go. I mean, that you're absolutely right. That would be unfixable if that happened. Huh. That might be an interesting video to do. Since I'm the king of screwing up, and, you know, it's one of the things I've always believed, to show people how to screw up and how to get out of it. You might have a look on that. Got this Nile thing going on here. Maybe for good measure, let's do this, just for fun. Maybe instead of a landlocked thing, maybe we just have a big trade island. I think I like that a lot better. I think that just adds a lot more drama and fun stuff to it. Center of the universe. In the states, you have the Missouri River, where the Missouri and the Mississippi River combined, and it's by a city called Louisiana. The indigenous people of the American nations thought it was the center of the universe, because these huge rivers just all were there, and it was such a beautiful area, and the food resource, there's plenty of food resources, and that's where all the tribes got to trade and everything else. So maybe that's what we have going here. Looks like I just made a giant scrambled egg, so we're going to fix that. Imagine all political and wars fought right there. I like this a lot better. Actually, I like this a lot better. Okay. Okay, cool. So, now we've got our land. Let's go ahead and color. And we're just going to go standard colors. Start with green. Opacity. Well, we're going to fill this first with green. We're going to come down with this dark brown to where our mountains are. Brush size, we're going to drop our opacity down below 0.10 or just to 1. Again, circles for blending. And this is just the high areas. Then we're going to come in with this brown. It's going to be our highlands. I find with Wonderdraft it's just easier to color things first. Thank you, saving for me. It's scaring the living crap out of me. I thought I had my headset turned up too high. Again, circle for blending. Want to kind of splotchy so it actually feels like something different. And again, don't be afraid if you cross over some boundaries. That's why we do coloring first. We've got kind of a, see that didn't blend too well there, so let's get in there. So that's a really dark brown. Cool. Maybe we have some drier little parts here. There we go. Drier parts here too. Something really fast and easy. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and add some symbols. We're going to go with our land symbols. Usually I use these guys down here, but I think we're going to change it up today. I think I'm going to go with, let's go with these colored mountains. I want to go with these colored mountains. I do not want to go with these colors mountains. Nope. Don't want to go with those colors. How about these guys? Nope. These guys? Those are the ones I like. I'm indecisive. It was very oriental feel to these, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and holding Alt and controlling the size. Let's go with these. Maybe do an oriental feel to this. So we're going to go with, those are way too big. Maybe drop down to 45. Kind of doing these very curvy movements with my wrist. Do I like those? I don't know if I like those. I don't like those. Again, insert comment here about I know there is a lot of custom content out there for Wonderdraft that that people have made, but for demonstration purposes, if it's like for, you know, if I can pay someone for their content and get a license to use it for commercial use, I'd love that. But for demonstration purposes, I feel that I need to be showing people what comes with the package versus something that doesn't come with it. There we go. All right. Again, we're just focusing on the mountains where those dark spots were. Maybe mixing it up here and there. Maybe up here we got this thing going on. Coming up here. Yeah, we've been on for a while now. Coming up here. And with the peaks of these mountains, I'm generally trying to go up and down. And then for these smaller mountains, I'm going to go back and forth. And it's going to create this really nice, see that? Creates this nice little finger effect that you see with mountains. And down here. Down here. All right. Let's get some of our symbols. We're going to throw some of the... Let's get some swamps. No, let's do rivers first. My bad, my bad. Go to water. Do our rivers. Always forget, start at the source. Source to area. So we have a wet thing down there. Maybe not too much here. Definitely one right here. Probably should do some little bit of branching. Again, 90% of the time your rivers will branch towards the path of, well, they're branch from from the highest elevation, they will lead down. Well, branch is probably a bad term for it. But they will branch from the lowest point through the area with the least amount of resistance, meaning brewers don't branch going downhill unless, and it is actually more commonly, it's a little more common than most people realize, especially if there's a hard sediment or debris. Oh, that's good. That's working for me. Let's go ahead and come down here. Come down here. We're just going to get just a slight greener color, maybe a dark green. It's really dark. Oh, this will be okay. We're just going to hit some of these lower places with this green. Just the tiniest amount. Then we're going to go and blend these together. There we go. There we go. Then we're going to come back with this green and actually just put just a touch of it over this dark green we used so it blends a little better. That feels a lot better. There we go. Cool. Put some foliage in here. Symbols, I don't know. And again, would kill for some new symbols. Let's go to our tree. That's good size for it. And I'm feeling like some over here. So take this up to 2. Just go kind of absolutely nuts. I think we're going to go to a very Christopher Tolkien feel for some of these forests. Maybe one right here. Kind of keeping in mind of the rain shadow and all that. Same thing down here. And here. Etc., etc., etc. Now with that, let's just fill this whole area in down here. There we go, that's fun. Maybe kind of same thing. I kind of want this area dry over here, so maybe just a touch. Nothing big. Then here I kind of want one, like a really big one. Just kind of feeling it down there. All right. I'm liking that. I think that is where we are. I'll call that good with Wonderdraft. Just really quick, easy. Hope this has helped. Save this here in pictures. Save that. Let's kind of mess with themes before I go. It's kind of fun. Don't like that dither in there. Let's let the pastel. I should go in and mess with some of this. Just little things like that. But again, adventure always seems to just... maybe not today. We'll figure it out. Get moving. Yeah, you get the idea. All right, guys. Yeah, it's saved. Guys, this has been Dan with Novus. Thank you so much for coming by. Next week, I will probably try and get one of the newer... We've got a new approach with ArtRage Maps, new technique. It's complex, but it's really fun. And in a way, I almost think it's faster. But the setup is what takes the longest time. You have to pre-create some brushes and stuff like that. We'll do some of those next week. Also, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of changes on our website, a lot of fun things we're going to be doing out, a lot more maps, if some sponsor stuff coming up on Direct Through RPG and also on our channels. We're actually going to get some t-shirts and stuff too, so look forward to that. Thanks and have a great day.